This is one of the things that nobody tells you about choosing between Oahu and Maui. You won't actually know if you picked the right island until you're actually there. But by that time, the flights are booked, the money's spent, and you've locked in for the duration of your trip. So today, I'm breaking down the real differences, the stuff most first-time visitors usually don't think about, and even some seasoned travelers, so you can pick the island that actually fits what you want for your Hawaii vacation. Welcome to Hawaii's Best, the podcast helping you plan an unforgettable trip to Hawaii. I'm Brian, a certified Hawaii travel expert, and I've helped plan hundreds of Hawaii trips at this point over the last 6, 7 or so years. And Oahu versus Maui, that question comes up almost every single time when helping someone plan a vacation. So today we're going to talk about it. We're going to cover the personality of each island, cost, and most importantly, how to actually decide which one is right for you and what you're hoping to get out of your Hawaii trip. Plus, I'll be going over some need-to-know stuff about Maui in 2025 because some stuff has changed, especially going into 2026 as well. So real quick, I've got a free PDF with all this info. It's in the show notes, first link below. It's got the details that we're going to talk about today, so you can grab that after you listen to this or just download it now. And as you're listening to this episode, you can follow along and you can have it later as a reference for your actual planning. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get right into it. We're talking about Oahu first, and it's called the Gathering Place. And honestly, that name really makes sense, especially if you've been to Oahu or you've seen pictures, heard about it. This is kind of where urban vibe meets, tropical paradise. And Oahu isn't just Waikiki. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But Oahu gets about 60% of all of Hawaii's visitors. So this is the island a lot of first-timers go. 60%, that's over half of people all traveling to Hawaii. And you've got Waikiki, you've got Pearl Harbor, North Shore, some of the best food in all of the Pacific. And honestly, I think in all the world. But the vibe here, it's variety, which the different sides of the island on Oahu does have, which I love about Oahu. And it's got convenience as well, which is also really great. All the islands do to an extent, but Oahu especially. So a typical day can look like, you wake up, maybe you go hike Diamond Head, grab some poke from a local spot, snorkel Hanauma Bay, explore Chinatown in the afternoon, catch the sunset at Waikiki. That's a busy day, but those are some of the things that you can do on Oahu. It's got great sights, and it also has some great nightlife too, if you are into that. And one of the cool things, especially if you're staying in Waikiki, Honolulu, you really don't need a car. They have the bus system, which is called the bus, and the island's pretty easy to navigate. But if you're going to the North Shore, getting up there via bus takes quite a while. So maybe if you want to do a North Shore adventure day, you rent a car for the day, but you can shuttle over to Waikiki and stay and have a great time. But Oahu in Hawaii is so much more than Waikiki. But what's great about Oahu is it has great infrastructure, so you can make it work. You're not spending half your day stuck in a car trying to get to places. For example, if you're going to Hawaii Island and you want to get to Volcanoes National Park and you're staying on Kona side, it's going to take you most of the day to make that trip. That's pretty much an all-day excursion, which is fine as long as you plan for it. Now, Maui is called the Valley Isle, and it gets about 24% of Hawaii's visitors. And so it's a little bit more exclusive, a bit more laid back. Maui's about luxury, romance, and it's got some of the most incredible natural beauty in all of the islands. And you've got Rotohana, Haleakala National Park, amazing beaches and resorts that are legitimately hard to beat. The vibe's a little bit different than Oahu. Say you're staying in Waikiki area, a bit more relaxation, it's a slower paced. So Oahu, it's about exploring, experiencing variety. Maui is a little bit about more unwinding and immersing yourself in the amazing natural beauty that is Maui. Neither is better, neither is worse. It's just about just knowing the differences. And honestly, the one you pick depends entirely on what kind of vacation you're actually after. Also, in the show notes and in the PDF, I'm going to link a blog post I just wrote. It's more of an immersive type of blog post, kind of cool. It has an interactive quiz, so it prompts you to select some of your options that you were looking for in your Hawaii trip. and it'll suggest which island is for you. And it gives you some more pros and cons on that webpage. So I'll link that below. One of the biggest differentiators between the two islands is about cost. So let's talk a little bit about that, because this is where the difference really shows, I think. And I'm not just going to sugarcoat it, because we've done both, because this is really where the difference shows up. For a week-long trip for two people, you're going to spend roughly $1,700 more on Maui. So the biggest reason is the accommodations are the biggest differentiator in, keep saying that word, I'll try not to. But on Oahu, you're looking at $200 to $300 per night for a decent hotel. And on Maui, that same quality runs about $300 to $500 per night. And, that depends on the time of year too. You're going to be visiting during Christmas time, during peak summer, you're going to be paying that higher price. That's a 30% cost difference right there between the two islands. So over a week, that adds up pretty quick. And transportation is the next big gap. On Oahu, you got the bus, and you got, honestly, when we go to Oahu, we always rent a car. That's just how we like to explore. But if you're looking to cut costs, that's more doable on Oahu than on Maui in regards to transportation. Because on Maui, a rental car is definitely required. It's going to be hard to really get around the island, and that's going to cost you anywhere between, at the lowest range, I've never seen this, but some of my research saw like $50 to $80 per day. Typically, it's going to be, for a week, probably closer to that $800 range. Again, when I throw out these numbers, a lot of these fluctuate, even as I'm booking rental cars or if I'm booking for flights. So much of it changes throughout that process of trying to time it right. But that's just for the car. You're going to need a rental car on Maui. And switching gears a little bit, talking about food and activities, it kind of follows the same pattern. Oahu has way more budget options, food trucks, local spots, hole-in-the-wall places that serve some incredible food for inexpensive. But Oahu does have a lot more chain restaurants. So it could be really tempting to try to eat at a chain restaurant, especially if you're in Waikiki, and not try to hunt out some of those hole-in-the-wall local spots that are incredibly worth it. So you got to hunt a little bit more on Oahu. Maui skews towards more resort dining, but you can find a lot more local spots a little bit easier. There's more food trucks scattered across the island and some more hubs where you can get some incredible food, but it's going to cost you a little bit more. Both islands do have a Costco. Oahu has 2, 3 Costcos. Maui does have one by the airport, and you can stock up there if that's going to help budget-wise. Now, activities cost about the same on both of the islands, but I found that Oahu has a bit more free options than Maui. So if I'm just doing some quick math here, and I know this, I always kind of hesitate just throwing numbers out there because things do fluctuate. The difference can be easily $1,400 to $1,500 more than going to Oahu. So if you're budget conscious, definitely Oahu delivers. You can still get that, quote, Hawaii travel experience, that vacation experience. Try to get out of Waikiki. That's going to be the cheapest place to stay, but try to get out of Waikiki at least for a day or two. Rent a car and explore the other sides of the islands. From the west side, Ko'olina area, get out there at the coves. Maybe go even further, go to Waianae or go to kind of point out there. And it gets pretty quiet out there, which is cool. On the east side of Oahu has some incredible views. You want to explore outside of Waikiki, but I always say you got to experience Waikiki at least one time, because that iconic sight of Diamond Head, when you're on Waikiki, standing out on the beach while someone's playing at Duke's and you're watching a sunset, like that just is postcard worthy right there. But if you're looking for a little bit more luxury, exclusivity, and that matters more than costs, Maui is definitely worth every penny. So you got to know what you're signing up for. Look, I know that's a lot of numbers and it's probably hard to take in, especially if you're driving right now or if you're out on your walk or whatever you're doing. So I put together an easy reference format. I created that free PDF that I talked about, goes over more of the cost analysis, even some sample itineraries for both islands, packing lists, more tips. You can grab that first link in the show notes below. definitely will help you in your planning and deciding which island to choose. So which island do you choose? Which is right for you? For first timers, I usually always recommend Oahu. It's got all the stuff. It's got Pearl Harbor, Waikiki, North Shore. It's got culture. It's got history there. Iolani Palace, Bishop Museum. It's got pretty much all the things that you think about when it comes to a trip to Hawaii. The logistics are easier, and you're going to probably feel way more comfortable, especially if you're traveling from the continental U.S. It's going to feel just more comfortable. And if you're budget conscious, this is definitely a great choice. You're going to save probably around $200 a day without sacrificing much quality. But if you want variety, Oahu, that's the island for you. Families, multi-generational trips. I feel like every time we go to Hawaii, it's a multi-generational trip now, which is, I wouldn't have it any other way. And what's great is that Oahu has got that infrastructure, more activities for different age groups, easier to navigate. Plus, if you're thinking about island hopping, maybe you want to go to Maui for the day, Oahu is a great hub for that. It's easier to add a few days on another island if you begin on Oahu. But why would you pick Maui? So anyone celebrating something special, honeymoon, anniversary, milestone, birthday, or just you want to be fancy, Maui is definitely built like, I don't want Maui to come across as just like this exclusive island though. It's not just to be fancy. You can find some budget options on Maui, though it is a bit harder, quite a bit harder than Oahu. Maui can definitely use your visit if you're able to budget for it. Many people I talk to on the island of Maui, the resounding message that I get is, yes, please, we want you to visit Maui. We want your tourism here on Maui. So if you want to relax, Maui is definitely your spot. If you want world-class beaches, Maui is really hard to beat. Some of the best beaches in the world are in Maui. So really, there is no wrong choice here. And, maybe you have 10 days. Maybe you want to split your time, start on Oahu for 4 or 5 days, and then visit Maui for relaxation, maybe end your trip on Maui. You get best of both worlds. And I've seen people do that and they come back like it was a perfect trip. They go on Oahu and then go over to Maui, unwind, slow down, really get the pace of the island. One thing to note, there are some updates with travel to Maui following the August 2023 fires in West Maui, Lahaina. The good news is that all major resort areas are fully operational. Wailea, Kaanapali, Kihei, all open, all welcoming visitors. Tourism is actually vital for the recovery on Maui. What's encouraging is that visitor spending was up 23% in August of this year, 2025, compared to the previous year. So that's definitely a positive sign. So if you're traveling to Maui, just do it respectfully. I know if you're listening to this podcast, you're going to do that. Book your accommodations, support local businesses and restaurants. Maui wants and needs visitors who can come with aloha and respect the culture, especially the recovery that they're still going through. And if you're concerned about weather, best weather you're going to get typically between April through May, September through November. And during those times, you'll avoid summer crowds. You'll avoid holiday, as long as you don't go during Thanksgiving week or later into December, and you're still going to get great conditions. I mean, really, it's like one of the biggest questions is like, when's the best time to visit Hawaii? And it's like right now. So whatever works for you, whatever works for your budget, whatever works for your crew, who you're going with, that's when you go. But you just got to know what to expect when you get there. Now, look, I know planning a trip to Hawaii can feel overwhelming, especially if this is your very first time and you're trying to coordinate something special, especially like I mentioned, multi-generational trip. You're trying to accommodate for everybody and everybody's likes and needs and dislikes. If you want personalized help figuring out your itinerary, finding the best accommodations for your budget, or just want to talk through your options, I now offer Hawaii vacation planning consultations where we can hop on Zoom and I'll help you create a trip that's perfectly tailored to what you want. If you're interested in that, I put some more info in the show notes below this episode. But whatever you choose, whether you pick Oahu, you choose Maui, you're choosing Hawaii, and you're going to have an amazing time. You really can't go wrong. Before you go about the rest of your day, a couple things I want to just remind you of. First link below, I got that free PDF where you can grab more info about Oahu versus Maui for your planning. First link in the show notes below. Second, if you're still not sure which island, I got a quiz for you. You can go right to that link in the show notes as well. It's quick, it's fun, and it's pretty accurate, I think. And if you want personalized help, you can check out those Hawaii vacation planning consultations that I mentioned. Everything linked below in the show notes. All right, I think that's all I have for today. And I mean, we're staring down Thanksgiving next week. If you celebrate that, I hope you have a great Thanksgiving. I'll be back here next Wednesday with another episode, but I know it's hard to believe that the holidays we're staring them down, and sometimes it can stir up different emotions. So I hope that this holiday season is something for you where you're able to take some time to rest, recuperate, especially from this past year and looking into 2026. Okay. So until next time, my friend, as always, live with aloha. Mahalo for listening to this episode of Hawaii's Best. To stay up to date on future episodes, hit follow on your podcast app. Hawaii's Best is a production of Shorebreak Media Group with editing by Easy Podcast Solutions and music courtesy of our friends Stick Figure.